What's good, everybody? What is game? What a game! The Rams pull it out 20-17. That game, like Mike said off air, took about 10 years off our lives. But how you feeling?
Man, still sweating from that game, man. Craziness, craziness. But good win for the Rams. Good win for the Rams.
Yeah, we'll talk about that and more. We're now down to the final four in the NFL, and Mike's prediction of it going to be an NFC West versus AFC West Super Bowl is in the hands of Jared Stidham.
Yep. I did say on the last episode I may or may not be changing that before even we heard about the injury.
But we'll start things off with the Sunday night game. The LA Rams pulled off in overtime 20-17. Matt Stafford, 20 of 42 passes for 258 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Caleb Williams had a similar stat line, 23 of 42 for 257, but he had two touchdowns, three picks. While Kyron Williams led the team and led the Rams in rushing with 21 carries for 87 yards, two touchdowns. DeAndre Swift led the Bears in rushing with 19 carries, 76 yards. Kobe Parkinson led the Rams in receiving with three catches for 56 yards. Also, Puka had five catches for 56 yards. And then for the Bears, Colston Loveland was their leading receiver with four catches for 56 yards. But to me, the story of this game, obviously, Caleb with the three turnovers, that hurt, especially the last one. Really wasn't Caleb's fault. I don't know what the hell DJ Moore was doing. He just stopped it running his route for some reason. And it was an easy interception for the Rams, and then also too Ben Johnson not taking the points. He left 6 points on the field in that first quarter, and that ended up being the difference in the game. Had he kicked the field goal at least one of those times, the Bears don't even need overtime; they win in regulation. So I don't know when these coaches are going to get it through their head and just take the points, stop with the analytics BS. And for the Rams, great win. They're moving on to the NFC Championship game. But once again, they feels like they're winning in spite of Sean McVay at this point.
Yeah, I hear that. Sean McVay hasn't been doing much as far as a coaching job. But as far as DJ Moore, I think he was matching Kobe Durant because what the hell was he doing when he decided to give Komet the touchdown in the back of the end zone? He's literally standing beside the guy. All he had to do was stay there. He ran forward and jumped like the ball was coming. I don't know, but I've never seen nothing like that in my life. So he had the worst play of the game, even though he had two picks. DJ Moore, I don't know what was going on there. Maybe he didn't know where the ball was, but I mean Kobe jumped. He thought he seen something, so I don't know. no, know what happened there. But I mean, they went back and forth. Excuse me. Caleb obviously had a few big turnovers you can't do. Cam Curl, I mean, crazy play in overtime to give the Rams another shot. And outside of maybe four drives, I say Stafford played like shit as well. Because had he not missed a ton of throws or overthrows high or just sailed them, the Rams could have really took advantage and blew this game out in
But he
early.
also, sorry to cut you off. He also got sacked a season high four times in this game. So do you think it's because of the pressure that he was under made him maybe rush some throws?
No, because I've Stafford just kind of just has that thing when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. It doesn't matter the weather. It just he doesn't have one of those arms where this weather is gonna really affect him. But the problem is he was just throwing high. I don't know if yeah.
No, I'm not saying the weather. I'm saying the fact that he was under pressure. He got sacked a season high.
Oh, I know, but this is Stafford. We seen him get his arm popped out and still win. Coming and throw the game winning touchdown. So I don't think put like his toughness isn't under question. That's not even something you could question. I just say it probably a combination of his hand. It got a little banged up, I believe, last week, and then the cold. I think the two things, the combination of the two, probably he just sailed some balls. You know what I'm saying, or maybe the timing was off because the receivers didn't have their feet under them. So maybe it was just like more of a timing thing. But to me, it looked like he was overthrowing some balls. And then Caleb, I mean, he matched Stafford's energy. He was just roller coaster the whole game. do
Yeah,
something.
they both have the same exact stat line.
Yeah, they something
20,
special.
20 for 42 for 257 yards.
He matched his favorite quarterback all time. But the thing is, so they basically would do something special followed by what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what was going on in this game. And Kyron, I think, really saved the Rams going towards the end of the game because they started running and he was getting 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 yards of carry.
Yeah, and that's what they should have done from the start because the Bears, they're ranked 28th in stopping the run. They're good at stopping the pass. They just can't stop the run. So
Yeah.
why? So it doesn't make sense for us to have more passes than runs. This is the game where you just run it down their throat. I don't know what information Matt LaFleur gave Sean McVay, but it was some bad information. If that's the game plan to throw the
And
ball.
they completely left Corum like out the game until like the last drive. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what that was about. That didn't make no. And he played in Michigan. He's acclimated to cold weather. He was the only player out in warm ups with short sleeves on. So it's like, why would you not put him in? Like he's the one that isn't ready for the cold. That
yeah.
was a little
He's
confusing.
born and raised in that shit.
Yeah, so I don't know what that was about, but I mean, Rams got to feel good, but they also snuck out of this game with their life. Good for Mevis, to show that he can hit a big time kick in this type of situation. But Sean McVay got to be better next week in Seattle. I just keep it very simple.
He does, and once again, it's gonna be a chess match because Sean McVay calls the offense. Mike McDonald, he's a defensive guy, and he's the one that makes all the defensive play calls. So he's like the Sean McVay, but on the defensive side. So they're gonna be um, having something for each other.
Yeah,
Either McVay's gonna be cooking or McDonald's gonna be cooking, but we'll see. All thing I know is that McDonald. I also watched McDonald and I get the best of Shanahan twice, and he got the best of McVay in the fourth quarter last time we played him. So
tell you
we'll
that
see what happens on Sunday.
McVay hasn't been cooking in the playoffs. Stafford saved them these last two games.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, he saved them for real. But they have to play better to beat Seattle,
Yeah,
especially with the way that defense is playing right now. They look like the number one defense.
yeah. I agree. But with all the bad that Stafford did, I mean that dime to Adams at the end of the game, this is what we brought him here for. Like that catch, that was the catch. That right there is a catch in prime time. He wants to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he said it. That's the reason why he came to LA. He didn't come to LA to just play in the NFC Championship game. He came here so he can try to win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But the irony though is that we're gonna have the Rams and the Seahawks competing to play in the Super Bowl in the Niners home stadium.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious. But hey, it happens. The Niners are the Niners, man. Their fans need a. I mean, they ain't learned how to be humble since 1995. So
My neighbors are Niner fans.
well, listen, tell them to be humble. Maybe another one will come.
But anything else you got on this game?
Nope. On to Seattle. I'm ready.
All right. Well, before we get to Seattle, let's go to your neck of the woods in New England as the Patriots beat the Texans 28-16. Once again, CJ Stroud wet the bed. And we talked about it. No, he got lucky against Pittsburgh because he had all those turnovers, but Pittsburgh didn't capitalize. New England capitalized. And the only reason why this game was even close is because Drake May was like, hold my beer. I got some turnovers too.
Hold my bet.
Actually, no, CJ Stroud was holding my beer because like Drake May, he fumbled, the Texans recovered, and CJ Stroud was like, nah, hold my beer. Let me throw the worst interception you'll ever see.
Bro, it got to a point where they was throwing beers at each other, man.
And then Drake May would turn it over and CJ Stroud like, hold my beer, let me throw this pick six.
Yes, bro, it's getting bad, bro. I don't know. At one point, I didn't think nobody was gonna score in the beginning of that game.
The memes online though was funny where they had like they're like the Houston Texans. It was like a old video from like Raw or SmackDown where they like jump like where these wrestlers jumped somebody in the locker room. It's like that's a Texans defense jumping CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this game, those turnovers, there was 8 total turnovers. Houston turned the ball over 5 times. New England turned the ball over 3 times. CJ Stroud completed 20 of 47 passes for 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 picks, all in the first half. He also had a fumble. What Bobby Marks had a fumble, so that was the fifth turnover. Drake May wasn't even better. He was 16 to 27 for only 179 yards. He did throw for 3 touchdowns, but he had 1 interception and 2 fumbles, as we mentioned earlier. Houston didn't even try to run the ball. They Bobby Marks only had 14 carries for 17 yards. Ramondre Stevens was the Patriots' leading rusher with 16 carries for 70 yards. Jaden Higgins was the Texans' leading receiver with 6 catches, 59 yards. And Kayshawn Booty was the Patriots' leading receiver with 3 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. And Troy Aikman said it best during the game, and that is the Houston Texans are going to have an uncomfortable conversation about what they're going to do with C.J. Stroud because he has regressed since his rookie year, and he's up. They have to make a decision this offseason on whether they extend him or they make him play out his 5th year option. So what's your thoughts on this game, and what's your thoughts on CJ Stroud? As there were even reports that they were thinking about benching him at halftime, but they chose not to.
I would have benched him at halftime. That's the first thing.
Yeah,
Um, there's no way I pay him. I make him. Well, not saying I won't in the future, but I make him play on that 50-year option. As far as the game, neither one of these quarterbacks seemed like they wanted to win in the first half. The Patriots, I think, showed that they're the more complete team in this game because this is more just like a war of nutrition. Like it was just who was gonna outlast who. Slop fest. Nothing special happened. I did see some good catches, Diggs, Booty. There was some pretty big catches towards the end of that game. Other than that, there wasn't really much to say. There was really nothing going on in the running game from either team. Henderson didn't get going. Stevenson did all right, I guess. Um, it was just it was a defensive game, and whoever could capitalize the most was gonna win. And it kind of went how we expected. I thought it would have been maybe a little closer than the score at the end, but I mean, it went as much how pretty much how we thought it would go.
I mean the game was actually closer than the score indicated. It just CJ Stroud just kept turning it over.
Yeah,
They couldn't get any momentum, and the game to me was very similar to the Pittsburgh game. The only difference is the Houston defense didn't score like they did against Pittsburgh. They scored 2 touchdowns in that game. They
yeah,
didn't score in this game, and then Pittsburgh they couldn't capitalize on CJ Stroud's turnovers. The Patriots they capitalized on CJ Stroud's turnovers. That was the biggest difference.
yeah.
If not, the Houston defense did everything that they could to win this game. They just couldn't get anything going offensively, in large part because of their quarterback. And I agree with you. If I'm Houston, I'm not paying him. I'm not giving him an extension. I'll make him play out his 5th year option, and if he improves, I'll sign him. If
Yeah,
not, then I'll let him walk in free agency, or I'll trade him, and we either have to draft a quarterback or hit the free agent market.
I'll let you know another thing that I already would have made this decision. Even if he has a great year next year, I'm not paying him at the top of the market. I've already made that decision. I've seen enough to know that I'm not going to pay you as a top five guy. So I already have a number I'm willing to go to. And even if you play the best you play like you're the best quarterback in the NFL next year. If you don't win a Super Bowl, you're like a 40 million a year guy to me. You ain't
I'll give him like a Sam Darnold contract where it's like
yeah,
5 million a
there
year.
you go. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't look like he's ever gonna go past that at this point because you take his best year and you put that with all his other years and say you give him one more good year, it doesn't make me want to pay you at the top of the market.
Yeah, your best year can't be your rookie season.
Yeah, because we know second year sophomore slump, we know about regression. So even if you bounce back, it's like, all right, cool. 35, 40 million is where I'm going a year.
Yeah, and then as far as for today's game, I would have benched him. You
Yep.
know, I'm at the point where it's like, excuse my language, but fuck his confidence. Like we're trying to win this game, and I
Yeah,
I feel like Davis Mills gave him a better chance than C.J. Stroud. Mills couldn't be any worse than how C.J. Stroud played today. And then
mhm,
everybody wants to blame the offensive coordinator, but you saw Davis Mills ball out with the same offense, so it can't be the coordinators. It's just CJ. He's played like trash the last 2 years. They got lucky last year because the AFC South was one of the weakest divisions,
yeah,
so they won that division by default. This year the division's a lot more tougher. Indy got off to a hot start, and then Jacksonville ended the season on an 8-game winning streak. But yeah, like it's just they're not gonna get past the second round as long as CJ Stroud does not take that next step, and we thought he would, but he hasn't. He hasn't improved since his rookie year. He's actually gotten worse, and that's what's scary. And so I'm with you. He has to prove it. I wouldn't give him an extension this offseason. I would make him prove it.
yeah. I might even open a QB competition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
between him and Davis Mills.
yeah. But another thing that I have a problem with CJ, like here's the thing, guys come in the NFL like even Josh Allen. I think he came in. They wanted to change a little bit of his mechanics, stuff like that, because they want to fine tune stuff. CJ came in already, didn't need adjustments, and now his mechanics look like they regressed. So it's like it doesn't even look like his mechanics are right anymore. Like he's throwing weird. He's not really getting the steps into his passes. So it's not just it's everything with him right now. He just don't look right.
Yeah, but it's like, why though? Is it just he got content, or is it the play, or is it because he's not being coached right? Like, I don't understand how he fell
He's,
off. So
I'm gonna just say this: his confidence is gone. I have no idea how he got to that point, but his confidence is definitely gone. You can see it.
well, like I said, at this point, if I was D'Amico Ryan today, I would just say fuck his confidence, try to build it up. Like we're trying to win a game. We can worry about that in the offseason. But for today, I think he should have benched him.
I
I
agree.
think him not benching him might have cost him because his defense was balling out. And I said it a couple days ago when we were previewing these games. I said if I'm D'Amico Ryan, I'm turning CJ Stroud to a game manager. We're just gonna run the ball, play great defense. 'Cause it's okay if you win, 13-3 or it's 10-7. No, at least you win and you advance. It doesn't have to look pretty. The Ravens won a Super Bowl in 2000 playing that way. So I mean, it could be done, especially this year.
I agree. I'll just say this: even if you benched him, doesn't mean you couldn't have put him back in next week. But after that first half, I definitely wouldn't have brought him out for the third quarter. Not as the starter, anyways.
And I Troy Aikman and last week with Tom Brady, like I know these quarterbacks they want to say something, but they try to keep it PC.
Hmm.
Troy Aikman sounded just like Tom Brady last week watching Jalen Hurts. It's like he kept saying like I don't know what CJ is looking at. I don't
Yeah,
know what CJ is doing.
that's what I said. His confidence is gone. His mechanics are all fucked up. I don't know what's going on.
It has to be something in up here mentally.
Yeah, definitely is.
But anything else you want to add on the Patriots win?
Yeah. You could get to the next one.
All right, so we'll go to Saturday's games. We'll start with maybe the not maybe it was the best game of the weekend. The Buffalo Bills versus the Denver Broncos. The Broncos beat the Bills 33-30. This was a story of comebacks. At one point, Buffalo overcame a 24-10 deficit. They tied the game. At one point, took the lead, and then Denver can't storm back, took the lead, and then Buffalo tied it, sent it to overtime. And then overtime, that's when all the crazy shit happened. Brandon Cooks shouldn't have, was it a catch? Was it an interception? There's controversy there. And then the PI on overtime on Tre'Davious White was that PI. Should the referees let it go? There was a lot of controversial calls, but it was a good game, the best game of the weekend. It's unfortunate what happened to Bo Nix, but I'll go over the stats first, and then Mike, you can tell us what your thoughts on this game.
Yep.
But Josh Allen completed 25 of 39 passes, 283 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, but he did throw 2 picks, and he also had 2 fumbles in this game, so 4 turnovers.
Careless one.
Yeah, it was the first time since 2019 that Josh Allen had multiple turnovers in a playoff game. And then James Cook was their leading rusher. He had 24 carries for 117 yards, but he too had a key fumble in the second quarter because the Bills were marching down. They're about to run away with this, not really run away, but take a huge lead, 14-3,
Yeah.
and then he fumbled, and that kind of switched the momentum back over to Denver. And then the Bills' leading receiver was Dalton Kincaid. He had 6 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. For Denver, Bo Nix completed 26 of 46 passes, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have 1 pick. Bo Nix was also the Broncos' leading rusher with 12 carries and 29 yards. And then Marvin Mims Jr. was their leading receiver with 8 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. And then for Bo Nix, we got the news after the game that on the second to last play of overtime before they kicked the field goal, he broke his ankle. So he's out for the season, obviously, and it looks like they're gonna have to roll with Jarrett Stidham for the AFC Championship game. For the Bills, I said this that out of all the playoff teams, I thought they were under most pressure because the 2 teams that have been knocking them out of the playoffs, Kansas City and Cincinnati, they weren't in the playoffs this year, so he had no excuses. And Josh Allen chose the worst time to play his worst playoff game in 7 years as he had 4 turnovers. And he's even with the 4 turnovers, he still gave his team a chance to win. The last turnover, I know it counts to him. But that's more on Brandon Cooks. You got to hold on to that ball. You can't let the DB just rip it out of your hands like that. Even though Devontae Adams had a similar play today, and they called him down by contact, and Bills were saying how come they couldn't get that call last night. But either way, for Brandon Cooks, you still got to hold on to that ball. But for the Bills, I said if they don't get to the Super Bowl this year, I don't know when. And that's how I feel about them. I don't know when. And as far as for the Broncos, I mean, this game's win is bittersweet. It sucks that they lost their quarterback, Bo Nix. For Patriots fans, you all know about Jarrett Stidham. He's not very good unless Sean Payton can get something out of him. But it's going to be tough for them in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. This is gonna be Broncos are done. I just call it now. Like I told you off air, pull anything you can, anybody off the waiver. I mean, any free agent. I think you said Cam Newton
And
and
Ryan Tannehill,
yeah, Tannehill or Newton. I don't care. Whatever they can learn the system in 2 3 days would be an upgrade over Stidham. It doesn't matter if he knows. It doesn't matter if he had 5 years in your system. He's just not talented enough to win in the NFL. So that's it just really doesn't matter. At least if you bring in an NFL caliber quarterback, you dumb down your playbook, they give you a chance because they can make NFL caliber throws, or at least those two guys can run. Stidham isn't bringing nothing to the table other than a turnover machine. I'll guarantee that. But as far as the game, um, said this before, the Josh Allen's kryptonite was never Joe Burrow and Mahomes and Tom, Dick, and Harry. It was a team that's better than yours. The Chiefs are usually better than you. The Bengals are usually better than you. The Broncos this year are better than you. The Patriots was better than you. There was probably about 4 other teams better than you. Josh Allen's problem is people keep telling him he's going to the Super Bowl. Your team is not a Super Bowl team. And just diving into things that happen here, it's like, look it, forget the turnovers. We knew he was gonna have turnovers in one of these games because you're asking them to do too much. That's the first thing. So when people's doing too much, they force it, things happen. He was running careless, waving the ball around. So some of those fumbles strictly on him. It didn't have anything to do with anything else. That's on you. Why 10 yards down the field, you're swinging the ball around like they think you're going to throw it? Bro, the line's back there. And after you fake like you're going to throw, dude smacked it out your hand.
you got to have awareness of who's behind you.
But not even that. Who's falling for a pump fake 15 yards down the field?
Yeah, that too.
That is just, even if you could catch somebody with that once in a blue moon, man, tuck the ball. What are you doing? You know what I mean? So a lot of that was on him. Um, I'll dive into the Brandon Cooks situation, and I'll keep this simple. And a lot of people's gonna compare it to the Devontae Adams catch today, and there was one other catch. Um, I think it was the catch last year. There's 4 or 5 catches that people are going off the rails comparing this to. Now, there's a few things that I noticed. A lot of people talking about this don't even know the rule, and I'm gonna sum it up for them in dummy 101 in a second. But they definitely never been on a football field. Half of these dudes, you could tell. Even a lot of these broadcasts on TV that are going batshit. The most simplest thing about this, they're not understanding. Look at, if I'm running, I catch the ball. Like for example, Devontae Adams today catches the ball up high, brings the ball down, takes a step or two. He's getting tackled. His knee goes down. The ball gets stripped. He's down. Devontae Adams wasn't going to go to the ground. You see what I'm saying? He's getting tackled. There was no play on the ball until after he was tackled. Now, we're going to get to the Brandon Cooks play. First of all, he's the king of fucking up in big moments. That's why he's not on the Rams. Had he been able to catch touchdowns in big moments, Goff would probably have a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
everybody says Goff was late on that throw, which he was.
he was, but he
Brandon
still
Cooks still got to keep that catch.
got to catch it. Yeah, and most 90% of top wide receivers still would have caught that ball. So yeah, it was late, but did it hit you in the hands? Yes, it did. I don't want to hear anything about it being late. It got to you. You know what I'm saying? So now the catch. This is what, and now mind you, if you're not falling on your own, key thing here, falling on your own. If you're not falling on your own, you do not have to survive the ground. Surviving the ground is for when you're falling, catching the ball. Not me tackling you, you're falling. So if you catch the ball and I tackle you and your knee goes down, and then you fumble the ball, you don't need to survive the ground. That's a catch. If you're diving or you're leaning or you awkwardly are catching the ball and you're falling, no matter what, you have to survive the ground. Now, here's the problem with that Cook situation. People keep seeing these slow graphics and want to be like, look it, he caught the ball there, and look
Yeah, or some screenshots.
yeah, post the screenshots and all this stuff, right? But here's the thing. The minute that ball hit his hands, the defender made a move on the ball. At that point, they're both falling. The defender didn't go for him. He went for the ball. So now you have to survive the ground because no matter what, this was a bang bang play. You was gonna fall anyways. This wasn't a tackle. You was the two guys going for the same ball. Pause. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
whoever has possession of the ball, that's who gets the ball.
yeah, but now if you catch it, you got to survive the ground. You see?
Mhm.
Had you a caught it and been running and not turned around about to fall and awkward things is going on, and remember, no slow motion. Get the slow motion out of here. Play it in real speed. The ball gets there, he's already turning, he's going down. You have to survive the ground. Now, the problem, what happens is the defender lands on him, and you can see for a split second, Brandon Cook's hand completely comes off the ball, and he lost the wind or something. You could see it. Looks like the shoulder goes right into his sternum. You see Brandon Cooks, and you see his arm come off the ball. At
Yeah,
that point, you didn't survive the ground. No one's got the ball. Matter of fact, he's rolling away from you with the ball. It's an interception. So for Brandon Cooks, you didn't survive the ground. You probably got a broken rib because it looked like his shoulder went straight into your chest. But look at the play. When he took that gas, his hand came off. No catch. You see what I'm saying? Even if it wasn't intercepted, he dropped it. He was letting go of the ball. But No disrespect, but this what Brandon Cooks does. He's
Oh,
not.
no, no, and I'm glad that you said that he's the king of fuck ups because they wouldn't even needed that play if the play before when Josh Allen threw that I think it was a back shoulder play, but he didn't instead of dragging his feet, he tried to like balance brace for his fall and end up getting his elbow out of bounds.
Yep.
So they had to, and then that led to the play where it got intercepted. But had he made that catch and just made sure that his feet were in bounds instead of trying to brace his fall, just make sure he dragged his toe, the Bills already would have been in field goal range and getting ready to kick a game winning field goal.
Bottom line is this: Brandon Cooks is really good until it matters, and then I don't know what happens. It's like some dudes just don't got that clutch gene. He's one of those guys, right? But besides the fact on that, this is the problem with the Bills. When did they bring Brandon Cooks in there?
Like late in the season.
He's your number one wide receiver now.
Yeah, because all the other receivers are hurt. They even brought in McCole Hardman. I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Yeah, I know. Let's go through these receivers. Hardman, Gabe Davis,
And Hardman just got there before the game.
Keon Coleman, Brandon Cooks. All these guys got something in common. They're
But
not even
Keon Coleman, he needs. I don't know what's his problem, but he keeps getting benched for missing meetings and shit. He needs
these.
to mature.
None of these dudes are even good twos. The only one I like is Shakir, and he's more like a three. He's like a Wandell Robinson type of player,
Yeah,
right?
he's
So,
like 5'9".
and this the thing. The Bills, if I was them, I would stop with firing McDermott because he's brought you as far as he's gonna bring you. He had the excuse of Burrow and Mahomes and all that shit. Now it's not there. I don't know why he still has a job while we sit here right now and record this because I would have fired him. Second thing I'm doing is going upstairs and firing the GM. How long have you been there and you haven't been able to draft one wide receiver?
Yeah, the best wide receiver they've had since they drafted Josh Allen was they didn't draft him. They made a trade for Stephon
Diggs.
Diggs.
Yep, and they should have never let him leave. He still right now would be their best wide receiver by a Hollywood mile. So I don't know what they doing, but
Yeah,
I
they let him go because they wanted to get younger, and they drafted Keon Coleman. But so far, he's been a bust. But he hasn't been a bust because of his play. He's just a bust because he's immature. He keeps missing team meetings and shit, and so they discipline him by benching him.
yeah, I agree. But I mean, as far as this game, I mean, it went exactly how I expected it to go. As far as who won, the Bills fought back a lot harder than I thought they would. I told you I didn't think the Broncos would have trouble scoring on them. I, I didn't. I mean, I honestly didn't think the Bills would score on the Broncos defense as easy as they was at some points. I had confidence the Broncos could score high 20s in this game. I didn't have the faith that the Bills could do that to the Broncos. But end result, Broncos covered. We got the game pick right.
Well, looking back on it though, it shouldn't surprise us that the Bills were because the one quarterback that gave that defense problems this year was Jackson Dart. And his game is kind of similar to Josh Allen. So if Jackson Dart can have success against that defense, I'm not really surprised that Josh Allen was able to have some success. Just that Josh Allen just kept turning it over.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart didn't turn it over. His defense just gave it up in the fourth quarter.
Listen, this game was on Josh Allen. Had he not turned the ball over 4 times, the Bills would have won.
I agree. And even with the four turnovers, they still should have won if Brandon Cooks keeps his feet in bounds.
Fair to say.
But for the 15th year in a row, either the Patriots or the Chiefs will be playing in the AFC Championship game. The last time we did not get a Patriots or Chiefs in the AFC Championship game was back in 2010 when we had Steelers and Jets. But since 2011, every year at least either one of those teams, Chiefs or Pats, are in the AFC Championship game, and that trend continues this year. Again, this year with the New England beating Houston as they'll play Denver in the AFC Championship game. And right now, if they stick with Jarrett Stidham, I think it's fair to say the Pats will be in San Francisco playing for the Super Bowl.
Fair to say. I think the Pats got a clean walk into the Super Bowl.
Even though offensively they have not played well at all in these playoffs, especially Drake May. And they're playing against another great defense in Denver. And maybe Sean Payton might take my advice on CJ Stroud, where I said just run the ball, play great defense. Sean Payton might do that. Just we're gonna win this game 13-10.
We'll see how it goes. I think Stidham's going to spot them 14 points, and I'm talking about the Patriots. So I think the Patriots will probably cover the spread just in turnover points.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure out what the spread is later on this week. But last but not least, we have the worst game of the weekend. This was the blowout special. This game was over after the opening kickoff, but the Seattle Seahawks beat the San Francisco 49ers 41-6. They are moving on to the NFC Championship game, where the Seahawks are actually a perfect 3-0 in their franchise history in NFC Championship games. They'll try to make it a perfect 4-0 this next week. But Brock Purdy did not play well. 15 to 27 passes for 140 yards, no touchdowns, one interception. He got benched in the fourth quarter. Mac Jones only completed 2 for 4 for 4 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Sam Darnold playing with that oblique muscle didn't really affect him. He didn't even throw the ball that much. He only completed 12 or 17 passes for 124 yards, one touchdown, no interception. Brock Purdy led the Niners in rushing, though. He was 5 carries for 37 yards. So they couldn't really run the ball if the quarterback's leading your team in rushing. And then, as Mike said, Kenneth Walker special. He was right. He had 19 carries, 116 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Jake Tongs was the Niners' leading receiver with 5 catches for 59 yards, even though he had a costly fumble early in the game, which just continues Seattle's momentum. And then for the Seahawks, we got a Cooper Cup sighting as he led the team in receiving with 5 catches for 60 yards. So Cooper Cup will play his former team in the NFC Championship game. But I really have not much to say about this game, but we have to say about this game.
I don't got shit to say about this game other than the injuries finally caught up to the Niners or that nuclear plant rumor thing, whatever people is throwing
I
around.
don't, I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I'm joking. I don't believe in that either. But there
Yeah.
there seems something about. I feel like maybe they over practice, like something got, or their nutritionist sucks. Something's going on over there. But
Do
I
you think? Sorry to cut you off, but do you think it has something to do because Kyle Shanahan's like the only coach that plays the starters in the preseason? Do you think that has something to do with it?
no, if anything, I think he does that to try to prevent this from happening. But it could just be bad luck, or they scout players that just the injury prone, and they just maybe not looking at things, or their scouting systems messed up. I'm not 100% sure, but I knew that they would lose this game by double digits. I didn't think it would end up. The score did end up like what, 41-6.
Yeah, it was 41-6.
Yeah, I don't even know why they kicked the field goal. They
Actually,
did.
6 at one point, and then the game just got away from him.
Yeah. Um, I mean, no Kittle, no Tonjes. I think CMC went out of the game. I
Yeah,
mean,
he left in the second half with the stinger.
yeah, they at one point they was running with, I believe, all backups, no wide receivers. Jennings isn't really that good anyways. But I don't have much to say about this game. I'm not gonna pick on the 49ers. It's bad enough that they're gonna miss the Super Bowl in their hometown.
Yeah, I mean the only thing I'll say is it was a great game for Seattle. They're gonna be a tough out. We gotta. I think for us to win, we're gonna have to make Sam Darnold beat us. Put the game in his hands. But as far as for the Niners, I'll say this: I think Kyle Shanahan did his best coaching job that I've seen him do. The fact that they even made it this far with all the injuries, and same thing with Robert Sala. We talked about it. The Niners are ranked 17th in defense. With all the injuries that they had, they should have been dead last. There's no reason for their defense to even be average.
Yeah,
It was just a great coaching job. And then they had guys on their defense like Eric Kendricks. I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Yeah, me
Yeah, they
neither.
talking about they just signed him right before the playoffs started.
Yep. They was running with dudes that had on the practice squad and stuff. I still
Yeah,
believe Shanahan deserves coach of the year,
me
but
too.
I knew they wasn't gonna make it past the Seattle team.
And then also for the, I think they said it was the for the eighth time in the last like 12 years or something. The NFC representative will come from the NFC West. So the NFC West is by far the best division in football.
Yep. And one thing just to clarify what you said earlier, I was changing my pick anyways, as far as the West versus West, because you know how I want to see in the Super Bowl.
But Matt Stafford versus what Rams pitchers,
I want my revenge.
yeah, they've gotten us twice now.
Yeah, that's why we got to get them twice. It got to start here. You know what I mean? So that's just like I'm gonna go with the Pats.
Uh, well, I don't want to look too far ahead though, because I still want to focus on Seattle. But yeah,
But
I would love to see us finally beat New England.
yeah, the thing is this though, bro. We're not even looking ahead. The Stidham shit kind of makes this a no brainer. Like,
Oh no, for New England, yes.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm talking about for the NFC.
Oh, I'm not. No, yeah, we're not picking yet. I'm just saying, you know who I would want to see if the Rams go there would be the Pats.
But quickly though, as we look forward to the NFC Championship game,
Yeah,
any thoughts on Seattle?
they're a monster. I'm Sean McVay is gonna have to bring his A game this going into this game if he wants a chance to win because our defense. Well, to be fair, if we could contain the run, I guess we'll figure out how injured Sam Donald is. He looked pretty good last week, but they also didn't ask him to do much. So I think if we can hit him, it'd be, Rams might have a small advantage there, especially how they've had, regardless that they lost last time against him, they still caused turnovers. So they might have a little advantage, I believe, if they do this right. But Seattle's a great team. I could easily see Seattle going on and winning the Super Bowl this year. So
Well, you thought it was Fugazi, Seattle having the number one ranked defense,
yeah,
but they allowed the fewest points in the NFL. They only allowed 17 points per game during the regular season, but the Rams both times scored more than 17 against his defense.
yeah.
So that's the one thing that does give me confidence is that we've shown that we could be the one team that can actually put up points against his defense.
I think in 2 games we have like 800 something total yards.
Yeah.
So
So as great as this defense is, we seem to be their kryptonite.
that's why when I look at them, it's like I don't know. Like I don't know if the Rams would have put up 450 yards back to back on Denver or Houston's
Houston.
defenses. Like I don't know if I could see that. You
I
know,
mean, let's like maybe because they're in the same division, so maybe that's why the Rams have such
could
so.
just be yeah, could just be I got your number type of thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's from watching those 2 games, obviously very very closely. I just don't see the number one defense in them. I think they're good. They play very fast. Number one, I don't know. I give them top five though. I'll give them that.
And real quickly, I do want to apologize to Demarcus Lawrence because this offseason, he said the reason why he left Dallas and signed with Seattle is because he wanted to go to a team where he had the opportunity to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, including myself, laughed at him, thinking he was crazy that he actually thought he could win a Super Bowl in Seattle. But right now, he has the last laugh because not only is he playing in the NFC Championship game, but he was right. He had a better chance of winning the Super Bowl in Seattle than he did in Dallas.
Yep. And it seems to me Cooper Cup made the right decision going home.
Yeah, because he's another one. Even though he wasn't, well, he didn't say anything, but I thought he was going to go to Detroit only because like him and Jared Goff are still best friends, and he knows JG. So I thought that connection alone. But seemed like he just wanted to go home. He made the right decision.
I was just hoping it wasn't San Francisco because for some reason that's where I thought he was gonna go.
Now I thought it was either going to be Detroit or bust, but he chose Seattle. Seattle kind of caught me by surprise.
Well, I hear that. I hear that.
At
But
the time, I thought he was choosing. At the time, I thought he was choosing Geno Smith. So I was like, "What the hell you thinking going to Seattle?" But they moved
Yeah,
Trey.
it is what it is. But I mean, with that being said, you got anything else you want to throw in before we get up out of here?
No, that's it. Great weekend of football. We're excited for the conference championship. Hopefully, the conference championship is as good as some of these games here in these playoffs. But you can find us on Spreaker, Spotify, I can't say the name, our iHeart Radio, and Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music. And you can like and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Absolutely. Don't forget to throw some comments and scan the QR code. Go over to W Energy. Use code Mob Squad 508 for 10% off all purchases. And we out.
We out. Peace.